baby girl. Got your own movie last night, and now you're about to get your own video. Whoa! What up, party people? Bobo here with BrassReel Brothers. Thanks for coming back for some more popcorn. Sorry you had to see that there, what I do with my free time. But anyways, I just saw Black Widow. And it was good. It was very good. It wasn't to the level of Endgame or anything like that, but come on, those movies were major events that have been building up like crazy. This movie is a backstory. Hands down, it's a backstory, and it's a good backstory. It's directed by Kate Shortland, which she was brought to Marvel by Scarlett Johansson. She discovered this director, found her, said, hey, I think she'll be a good fit for the film, brought her to Kevin Feige, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. And honestly, she did a really good job. It's a very different directorial approach than you've seen yet in Marvel films. It's a little more artistic, in my opinion. It is more of a character film, so it dives into the beginning of their lives, even as children. No spoilers, by the way. Not going to be a spoiler, I'm just going to tell you how I felt about the film. I'm going to talk some about what goes on, but nothing that you haven't seen in the trailer. I definitely say the best thing about this film is the character development and how they truly make you get to know the characters in this movie. They don't just shoehorn them down your throats. The cast is great. Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, Rachel Weisz, which I was kind of, I'll get back to that in a little bit, and David Harbour, who's awesome in everything. Even if the movie's bad, he's good in it. The movie does some really cool things like plugging it into reality, showing you some old school footage, some past events, and actually showing old elected officials, people that were really presidents and senators in our past. They show that in the movie, which adds a level of reality to it that I liked. They got some Marvel regs showing up here and there, like General Ross is in the very beginning of the movie, just to connect some things, because this does take place after Civil War, after everything had happened. They even mentioned some of the people already being caught and in prison. And in this movie, Natasha's on the run. That's no secret. You literally see that at the very beginning of the film. But it is less of a superhero film and more of like a spy thriller. It's got a lot of political espionage and shit like that in it. It honestly kind of felt like a Bond movie in a sense. And that's a good thing, because Marvel does really try to make something new and different every time. They don't try to just make the same old formula. They try to cater to an audience. They try to cater to a style of film depending on what that character is. And in this case, she is a spy. She doesn't have superpowers, and you get to dig deeper into that character of why she's a spy, who she is, what's led her up to this point, and unfolding some other things in the major part of the universe like I thought they were going to do. But because of it not being a superhero feeling movie, because there's really no superpowers in it, yet it's comic booky in a sense, and there's some elevated stakes and some master plot plans from some villains and things like that that probably don't happen in reality. Who knows, maybe they do. But as far as like superpowers and things like that, that is not in this movie at all. So because of that, you don't walk away from the movie feeling like super giddy like a child. You know, I loved feeling that way back in the day. Like, for example, in Endgame, when Captain America gets the hammer, everybody just looks at each other and they're just like, yeah! But after I've seen the movie and had some time to digest it, the more I think about it, that's a good thing. I like that because it makes this movie feel separate and different. It doesn't feel just like another movie. I will say, it being delayed a year did take a little bit of the excitement and the pizzazz out of it, because now, I mean, we've been waiting for it for so long and you've been hyping it up. I don't care how great anything is. If you hype it up too much and you're waiting too long and the anticipation is just a little overstayed, there's no way it can live up to any of that. Again, no matter how good it is. All that being said, this movie's great. I loved it. It's a great installment into the MCU. I think this movie is going to have a huge female following and audience because of what the plot entails completely. It does have a female empowerment overtone, but it's done in a very good way. It's not done like some of the past Marvel films, like in Infinity War, when all the girls just happen to be in one spot when they're fighting that massive battle, and then they're just like, let's get them, girls. I get that. It's there for a reason. But in this movie, it's not like that. It's actually woven into the plotline of the film, really shining a light on the fact that male chauvinism doesn't just exist in the workplace. It doesn't just exist in government and major corporations. It exists in a lot of the mentality of men, and that's not a good thing, and it needs to change. And this movie does a very good job of highlighting that without it feeling like, I am woman, hear me roar. And I like that. I think it's a great issue that needs to be addressed and fixed. Because let's face it, dudes, you all know that without women, we're lost. So I'm going to get to some of the stuff that I didn't care for about the film that was sort of leading me in the wrong direction. One, I wanted more Red Guardian. David Harbour is awesome in the movie, and he's in the movie. I just kind of wanted to see more of what the Red Guardian had to offer in this film. I'm not going to say any more about that. And he is in the movie. The Red Guardian is in the movie. You'll see what I'm talking about when you see the movie. It's just that I had expectations of something and I didn't get it. But that's my fault. I shouldn't do that. I'm trying to get better about that. Some of the time, Florence Pugh's character, you could tell this wasn't her fault. This was like the director's choice. They were wanting her to be the comic relief of the film, and it works a lot of the time, but then they started doing it a little too much, to where it's just like, we get it, we get your character's style of humor and the way you just kind of shove it in all the time. It was funny, and it worked for a character. I just wish they would have done it a little less. And some of the fight scenes I wish could have been a little bit longer. I mean, again, they were good, and it was real. I just was wanting to see a little bit more crazy fights and stuff from a Marvel film, but like I said, now that I'm thinking about it, this wasn't a superhero movie. It was like a spy thriller. But even then, I kind of think that the end fight scene could have been a little longer. It wasn't bad, it's just little critiques. And there's some stuff in here where they're starting to tiptoe on the, like, come on, could they survive that? But it's not bad like F9 or anything like that. But like I said, they're starting to tiptoe on it, and I just hope they don't breach over. And actually, my main complaint of the film was Rachel Weisz. I just didn't like the way she worked in the movie. I didn't care for her acting choice. It's not that she did a bad acting job. I don't know. I didn't believe some of the stuff, and especially, again, I'm not going to mess up the plot for you guys or anything like that. I'm not going to spoil anything. There's just some of the stuff that happens with her character and everything. I'm not sure that I bought it. That's it. And sometimes I just see Rachel Weisz, the actress. I don't see a character she's playing. I just see Rachel Weisz. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's a weird thing. But all in all, I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was very well done. It was good for the character. And it does have a little post-credit scene in there that gets you a little tickled. But I'm not going to say anything more. I just wanted to throw that out there. It was well shot. It was well acted, well directed. It felt like an MCU film. The Taskmaster is the villain in it, but not really, so I don't want to say anything more. You just got to see it. I did like the underlying issues it was addressing, and I'm definitely curious to see where they're going to spin it off from here with the characters in this movie. So, compared to all the other Marvel films, I give this one a B+. And in any other case, if it wasn't part of a major universe, I'd probably give it an A+, but it's comparing with a lot of MCU films, so I just got to be a little more critical with it. Well, that's it for this review, guys. Thanks so much for clicking on this video. Hit that like button if you enjoyed watching it. Look for BrassReel Brothers on Facebook. Look for Bobby Williams on Facebook. And you can find me on Twitter, BrassReel Bobby at BrassReel. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button so you can help us make it to the top. And as always, if life gives you lemons, make some hot, fresh popcorns.